Hello and welcome to the I Can Do podcast with Benjamin Lee. We're here to talk about tips and strategies to have an I Can Do mindset. Life is what you put into it. Get the most you can. Here's your host, Benjamin Lee.
All right, we are back. Fridays focus. What I'm doing now on Fridays is having a particular guest on the show. And today we have another fantastic guest, Tina Englisch. She's not new to the show. She's been on the show before, and I'm so happy that she's back. And we were just taking a breath before we hit the record button because it's been an unbelievable year for Tina in 2025. So Tina, thank you so much for carving out a little bit of time for me right before the year ends. How are you?
Thank you so much for having me. It's a pleasure to be here again. I'm actually really good, but also I have to say that I'm pretty happy that the year is over for me and I need this breath and
Yes.
to relax a little bit because it was, as you said, really a strong year for me, but I enjoyed it.
Yeah. I appreciate you, Tina, being open with that, acknowledging, because sometimes people I think have a hard time doing that. I'm pretty tired, and it's time for me to take a break. Is it easy for you, before we dive into some other things, is it easy for you to slow down or say, okay, now I'm just going to take some time to rest?
I think the thing is that it takes a long time for me to really realize that I need this break. But I keep going and I keep going and I keep going. And as long as I keep going, everything is fine. But then I realize it in the little things, like decisions take longer. It's difficult to make the decision in the first place. I get a little bit less creative. If this is happening, that's my body telling me, hello, you should do a break. And then it takes me still a little bit to really listen.
Yeah.
Once I realize I have learned to take a break and to really let it go, and I enjoy that. But it took me some time to get to that place, to be honest with
Hmm.
you. It wasn't easy in the first place. I remember that once I had a burnout, that's a little bit time ago. I mean, long time ago, fortunately. And I remember when they said, you need to take a break. The only thing that I said, yeah, but not long, 2 weeks and then it needs to be fixed. It wasn't, of course. But that was my mindset by then. So I had let go of this. Now I'm good.
Yeah. No, I appreciate that. I think that's one of the most powerful things somebody may get out of the podcast. And we're going to talk about a lot of different things, but the ability to have that awareness to say, okay, I'm going to hit the pause button, or um, just take that time off. So I appreciate you sharing that. And I think that's a superpower. I think that's a strength that a lot of people, rest is, I've always viewed it as rest being a blessing. And what you just said too, you notice your creative powers not as strong, or things taking a little bit longer. So the fact that you're in such alignment with your body and listening to it, I think is something good for people to take away. So since we have last talked, you have become a TEDx speaker, an Amazon best-selling author. I'm looking at your book right now, and I want you to hold it up, please, for the audience. Escaping the Sustainable Pain Zone. Look at that. That is awesome. Congratulations.
Thank you very much. Yeah, you're right. It was a crazy year of accomplishments. I am so happy about this book finally being out, to be
Yeah.
honest. Um, yes, I mean, it was a crazy ride. It started this crazy year on the 15th of January, earlier than I actually wanted
Yeah.
to perform. But I had to, and I was like, okay, let's dive in and do it. And then I was thinking okay, where I'm going from here, this was already something big that I did in January. And there was this little voice in me, to be honest and to be transparent, that said maybe that's it for the year, but nope, that
Mm,
wasn't it.
yeah.
So then I accomplished to be on the TEDx, which was really a great experience. And then I decided the book is the next step, and we accomplished. And that was actually something that I couldn't believe until recently. We released the book, and 1.5 weeks later, it already was a bestseller. And I was
Yeah.
oh my God. So yeah, I mean, if you talk to me about this now. I know that it happened, so I can talk about it. I'm not sure if I'm really like sitting on it, like I haven't internalized it completely.
Yeah.
Maybe that takes just a little bit of a break to like really like include it into that's me now.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it does. And yeah, I mean, you've accomplished a lot. And I really want to talk about, let's talk about this book here because I've had a chance to read it. And as we talk about the sustainable pain zone, it's escaping the sustainable pain zone. If there's like one big overarching thought or idea, and then we'll dive into it, that you would want the audience to take away from your book, what might that be?
I think that the most important thing to realize is that the sustainable pain zone is everywhere where you allow it in. So it's not something that you just consciously do. It's like everywhere and it's like tiny little things. It shows up. You don't even realize it at the beginning. It's just like something that you accept because okay, today it doesn't matter. Tomorrow it doesn't matter or I start on Monday or whatever that is. Everything that you postpone something you
Mm,
feel uncomfortable with is already a little bit of a sustainable pain zone in your life because you're sitting with something that you don't like. And you shouldn't do this. You're not supposed to be in a place in your life where you're not happy. And this is why I say, like, you don't expect it to be so present in your life.
mhm,
But if you really sit down and think about the little tiny things that you stretch yourself outside of where you think this is right for you. This is already happening. And the question is always, where do you stop it? Do you stop it? Do you realize you're there? And do you have
mm.
the courage to step out?
I love that. Do you realize you're there? Do you stop it? Do you have the courage? So, number one, how can a person realize they may be in the sustainable zone, which on the surface actually sounds kind of good? Sustaining your workouts, sustaining your budget, sustaining your eating habits. So, how does one first recognize that they're in this zone?
So we have to differentiate something. Like,
Okay.
I know that eating healthy is not always comfortable, for example. So it doesn't mean that when you feel uncomfortable doing something that it's automatically a sustainable pain zone because on the other hand, like expanding yourself is uncomfortable too. But the sustainable pain zone means that you have accepted an uncomfortable level that you shouldn't have. Like there is no positive to it. So for example, if you are in an unhealthy or toxic relationship, there is no positive to it. The only positive, if you want, is I'm not alone. But that's not enough, you know? So people staying in these relationships, for example, realizing that it's not good. And that can be even to a point where they get physically attacked by their partners. And they still stay because being alone is so frightening to them. Or the decision to leave because their children, whatever their mind is telling them. So, but this is not just there. It's the job that you actually really don't like. And you know that you want something else. You want to be an entrepreneur. You want to have your own business or you want to travel the world. I don't know. Whatever it is that you're calling for, but you stay in this because, let's say, it's paying the bills. This is where you sustain a pain that's not necessary.
Mm,
Like when you're overweight, you know you should lose weight, but it's like, yeah, but my aunt's birthday. Yeah, but whatever comes up, where you're not taking action on something that gets you a positive result that makes you more happy. So even though, yeah, you stop eating hamburgers, McDonald's, or whatever that is, not the most comfortable solution, maybe at the beginning, but the result, that is the comfort. This is where it's really comfortable. So this is why I call it the sustainable pain zone. Once you're in, it is sustaining a pain. Once
mm,
you're out, it's comfortable because it's really good. You feel like lifting your life up to a new level. And this is where I make the difference between you are just having some discomfort because you're expanding yourself or you're sitting in the discomfort and not doing anything about it.
mhm, mhm. So you talked about courage after we recognize it. You're a courageous person. Just thinking about some of the things you've done, whether it's singing, being an athlete, being a coach, a relationship coach. I think we had talked when you had talked about, or maybe it was on social media about signing up for TEDx. You're like, yeah, I decided I wanted to do it, and I filled it out, and there you go, and it all worked out. And so for a lot of people, they overthink that for like months or years or decades. Should I really do this or not? Or the book, for example. Uh, Help the audience with after we recognize we're in this sustainable zone, how do we draw this courage? What might be some, whether it's thought processes or exercises that's helped you or has helped some of your clients that you could share to help us maybe to have that courage or to give that push that someone may need?
I mean, in my book, there are a lot of exercises that you can do at home. But I think the most important thing is to understand first in your mind that what you're already doing isn't good and it will not change unless you change. So, and to be honest, I mean, when I was snowboarding, when I was standing at the start and I was pushing out, sometimes the slope was very steep and I was afraid. Like I was like not sure if I master this because whatever, it wasn't my day or it's not every day is not the same. So but the thing is, you can like lead your life or let your life be led by the fear, or you can master your fear. That doesn't mean it's not there. That is never, because it's natural. You do
Right.
something that you have never done before.
Hmm.
So you will feel uncomfortable. You will feel frightened. You will be scared of doing the next step because it's not sure what's happening next. But to be fair, like where you are is also not really like where you want to be. The only thing is that you know it already. So the
Hmm.
pain that is happening right now in your life that you might not even name as pain. You just say
Hmm.
like, it's okay. It's maybe not what I wanted, but maybe life is like this. Maybe it's supposed to be. No, it's not. But anyway, so it's
Hmm.
not best place. And the worst scenario, like if you're stepping out there, what can be the worst scenario? That you go back to what you already know? That's the
Hmm.
worst case scenario. It cannot get really so much worse. Like if you're in a relationship where your partner is hitting you, how much worse can it get? Like it can kill you? That's the worst. Like that's the one step lower, but what else can happen? Like honestly. So if you're already having your blood markers like completely bad and the doctor is telling you if you're not getting your health on top, you might die soon. How worse can it get? You know? So it's your the shift in your mind. I think that makes the big difference to tell yourself or give yourself the permission to at least try something different. If you don't
Yeah.
like it, maybe you don't stick to it, but try something different. Many times I think we just go like this through the world and we don't open our sight. So we have so many possibilities. And it doesn't mean that the first thing that you try is going to bring you the result, but there are like a million other things you can try. The only thing that will not resolve it for you is to stay is if you stay in the same place. This will
Hmm.
not resolve it for you.
Right. Yeah.
Something.
Well, I think, yeah, I mean, I'm the word that popped into my head listening to you is curious. That's one thing, right? So being curious, so even like with a job perspective or a career, oh yeah, I'm curious. What would it be like if I did X, Y, and Z? So I think sometimes people are not curious enough, where on one hand, it is very comfortable. It's like driving to work the same route every day, or it's having the same peanut butter and jelly sandwich for lunch, which I don't eat for lunch, but I do eat occasionally. But we just get into these routines, which are beneficial, but if not careful, kind of like what Tony Robbins talks about, right? The thermostat it starts to lower a little bit, and we don't even really recognize, we need to turn it back up or turn it back down, and we just get super, super comfortable. So, yeah, I think that's a great point. And there's a statement or a phrase, hitting rock bottom.
Wait,
And What'd you say?
I just don't wait for that.
Well, that's the thing. Yeah, that's the thing. I think with the sustainable zone, I think that's what could happen, right? It's like, okay, we'll make change when we absolutely have no other choice. So there's some kind of awareness or check-in, right? Because we all have blind spots too. And it's like you wake up one day and you're like, oh wait, I didn't know I look like that. Or you can, you don't really see the subtle changes, but hitting rock bottom is typically when people snap out of things. But sometimes that can be too late. So there's a danger with that as well. So we have to have that courage. I love that example of right before you're getting ready to ski. So after somebody recognizes and says, okay, I know this is what I need to do, and knowing, I would add, that's not the full answer either, because people know a lot, right? If it was all about knowing, we would all have six-pack abs and $1 million in the bank, right? But it's not just about knowing. So that next step, how do we escape it? What's next?
For me, it's the decision, and it's the decision to really go through with it, because I think people, we are all a little bit like this, like you say, like, I want to do this and I will do it, but right now is not the right time. So I postpone it just a little bit. I'm going to do it next week because it's much better. But like, even if it's just 2 days between now and next week, something will happen in this time. And it's because you are not aware that your mind is working against you,
Mm-hmm.
because your mind wants to keep you in the known area, like, because that's safe. It's safe. The brain isn't here to make you experience the world. It's here to keep you safe and alive. And it doesn't matter to your brain if it's like a joyful life or if it's a mediocre life or if it's like a really not so good life. Your brain wants to keep you alive, however that is for you. So you need to just be as tricky as your brain, but a little bit faster, because otherwise you're never going to go out of that.
Yeah.
So you take the decision. I think the most important thing is that you take the first step. And even though if it's like, let's say 1 a.m. and you cannot do it today, write a list of what you do tomorrow and then do this. Not tomorrow, like, yeah, but I can't do this on whatever, Monday. No, tomorrow. You write it down. This is the most important thing, because it's your life.
Right.
It's one life. Like, this thing that I cannot kind of emphasize enough. It's one life. And if you're not living it right now, it's
Mm-hmm.
going to be over.
It is. It's going to move by fast. That's exactly right. I'm pulling something up on your book right now because you have a statement at the very beginning. And let me just read this. Dear reader, this book was born out of a question. Why do so many people live in a quiet pain, acting as if everything were fine or as if this is all there is to life? And one of the examples you use as well is, after accomplishing something and you were like, oh, is this it? I think it was a race that you were a part of. Is that correct? And I'm curious, you know, like you did the TEDx talk. Have you experienced things similar to that, or have things shifted where it's like, okay, as you go through these and you're breaking through these zones, that the happiness or the joy is increasing?
For me personally, I have learned that it takes a little bit to realize what just happened. So for me, it's not like I do it and after that I go like, yay. No,
Right.
for me, it's I do it and then I need some time to sink into what I just did.
Okay.
That's fine. But what I experienced when I was still racing, that was like that I didn't have fun in doing this, but I
Mm,
really have fun in doing what I'm doing. So like
yeah.
talking about the sustainable pain zone or like showing your colors or being yourself, being authentic, that's me. I mean, I cannot be different. Like I get like annoyed by people who do not speak their truth, who like I don't know, use blurry words to not really say what they mean. I get annoyed by this because it's like it's so difficult for me to really understand what they mean. I think that's the purpose of not saying what you mean, that the other person cannot nail them down. But
Right.
for me, it's like it costs me so much energy. So life is so much easier
Yeah.
when you, at least for yourself, have your lines and where you know, okay, this is where I want to go. And as long as you yourself are not concrete on this,
Yeah.
it's not gonna get easier. Like, I live this for myself, and I have really like joy talking about it because I think it's so important, for not for me only, but for everyone's happiness. Because if you know who you are and if you know where you go, it's easier than to just like, imagine if you're going into a new city and
Hmm.
you want to find whatever, the main square or anything, and you do not mark it on a map, but just wander around. There is not a lot of chance that you find it if they just drop you somewhere and they don't give you any indications.
Hmm.
If you have a goal, map out the way, at least the way that you think. I mean, there could be some, roadblocks and you have to take another way. Okay, fine. But know where you want to go and then go there
Yeah.
intentionally.
Absolutely. I love it. I think it's John Mayer, that song, Say What You Need to Say. Say what you need to say, right? And that's just being truthful and being authentic. I think a lot of times there's a lot of fear for people doing that, but that's something very, very important. When you were writing the book, first, let me ask you, how many books have you written?
Like there are some that are just on my computer. They're not I have published 3 by now.
Great, very nice. So now I'm curious, um, how many are on your computer that you haven't published?
My goodness, like about 10.
Are you serious? Why
They're
have
not ready. Like, some are just like in the starting phase, but it's 10 different books and one is
Wow.
completely ready.
Wow. Well, if you ever need someone to read it in advance, I know a guy, and
Thank you on that offer.
my question, did you ever find yourself when you were writing escaping the sustainable zone, that you found yourself kind of getting in the sustainable zone? And by that, as you write a book, right, the hesitation or the doubts, did that ever happen in this journey as you were trying to birth this book, get this book out into the world?
I think that we always hit some obstacles and in
Mhm.
everywhere where we go. The question is just how you deal with them. So for me, the sustainable pain zone means that I would stay in a place where I don't want to be. So for example, if I send the book to one publisher and that publisher doesn't reply, then I would stay there and would try to talk to this one person. It doesn't make sense to me. So the sustainable pain zone would be to try to just with one person. So getting out of it is like, okay, if this one doesn't want or doesn't respond in time, I try 3 others. I don't need to be with one particular person or find other ways. So I think the thing is just you realize that what is happening is taking away energy from you. It doesn't make you feel good. Like waiting for me is not good. Sometimes I have to. I know. I understand that. That's part of life. But there is always like there's a time when it really drains you and you feel like nothing is moving anymore. Then maybe move something else, but just don't stay where it's completely uncomfortable because it drains your energy, your life force. That's what I like to say. So um, I do not really stay if I don't absolutely have to in a place where it's not good for me, where my energy is drained, because I really feel like if my life is like running out of me being in this place for longer. So 1, 2 weeks, okay, but that's the max.
Well, what you said is interesting. We were talked before we recorded about this podcast I've been listening to called Founders. He talked about John Rockefeller, one of the richest men here in America. And, he said that David Sinner, the host, would say that, when John Rockefeller, he would go looking for a loan. So he would go to a bank. And if they said no, he would just get up and go to the next bank. And if they said no, he'd just get up and go to the next bank. Kind of like what you were saying, right? It's like, okay, well, one company says, no, we're not going to publish it. Okay, great. Just going to move on. And I think that's such an important thing to draw out, because it can be easy just to maybe stay in a silo, or to just, well, they said no. But that's where I love that energy as well of, okay, well, that's how you break through this sustainable zone, because there's plenty of opportunities and options out there for that goal that we're trying to accomplish to make sure that we can hit it.
I think when I was in Latin America, that was the first example in my life where I learned how this works, because guys there, they have a completely different dating mindset than people over here. Like, they just approach women, and if she says no, they approach the next and the next and the next and the next.
Mm,
They're not like, they don't feel rejected. I mean, of course they are rejected, but they don't take it personal. They take it as a more of a game. It's fun for them to see how they can land with who they can land. And I think this is like, if you lose the fun in life, it's getting pretty hard. So, I mean, yes, business is hard. Relationships are hard. So losing weight is not fun. Being, like, being healthy sometimes is hard. So please just make it fun for you. Explore the different things that you have in life, and don't take everything so personal, because sometimes people react. No, it has sometimes. Most of the time, people react more to who they are in this moment than to who you are.
I like that. Yeah, that's a great thought. I love it. Well, Tina, I think we could probably talk for hours, but I have to ask one last question. 2025, it was a pretty amazing year for you. I'm really happy for you, for your success. And I hope that you continue. I know you will continue to be successful. Can you give me and the audience a sneak preview of what 2026 may have in store for you?
Well, to be fair, I have no idea yet. I haven't planned for 2026. I just know that it's going to be awesome. To continue working, I have some projects in my mind that I want to pull off, but I don't know exactly where it's going to be or where it's going to head first. Um, I have learned this year that I have to keep it open a little bit, because then more miracles can arrive,
Mm,
even though I'm not thinking about it. So for me, there are some things that I want to make work a little bit easier. Like, yeah, and I have a huge project, but that's not in my coaching, that's in my investing life. Um, it's gonna be all great.
yeah,
I
yeah,
know that.
absolutely.
Actually, to be really honest, I'm curious myself where is going to be like my next step and my next accomplishment, because right now I don't know.
Yeah, I think that's a great approach. I had a CEO on the podcast, Corede. She started this nonprofit group a couple of years ago. She was on the podcast. She started a nonprofit group in Africa, I believe in Nigeria. And that's one of the things that she mentioned, Tina. She mentioned that she keeps her calendar open in January. So she prays and just keeps that calendar open to see what might come about. So I'm doing something similar. I'm taking some things off the calendar in 2026. At times it feels a little bit weird because you have a lot more space. But on the other hand, it actually feels really good too, just to see what else may come about. So I appreciate your honesty with that. Where can people find you on social media? How can people purchase your excellent book as well?
So my book is on Amazon. To start that first, like, you just go to your Amazon, escaping the sustainable pain zone, or my name, and it should pop up. If not, not a problem. Go to my website. It's www.tinaenglish. It's TINAENGLISCH.com. And it's on the first page. Like, when you just get there, you have a link that directs you directly to your Amazon, so you can get it there. And my social media handle is Tina English with SCH in the end. Everywhere, like Facebook, Instagram, you can find me under this handle.
Yeah. Tina, thank you so much for being on the show twice. And thank you for your confidence in me, and much success to you. Happy New Year.
Thank you to you too. And thank you so much for having me. It's really a great pleasure to be on your podcast.
Thank you. Take care.